Good evening, everybody, and welcome to today's Anfield and Anything Liverpool stream. Our pre-game talk about tomorrow. I am joined today by Toby, Connor, and Jackson. Hope you're all doing good, guys, and have a lot of things to get off your mind when it comes to what we've experienced in the midweek and the game coming up tomorrow. Um if you are new to Anything Liverpool, please give us a like and a subscribe to our YouTube channel, Anything Liverpool. And if you have any questions, post a question in the chat, and we'll see if we can head into that later on. Well, I want to start, guys. We had a kind of a shitty game again on Wednesday, and well, we had a good first half, in my opinion. The second half was, yeah, we've seen many of those this season so far, so that was nothing new, really. Me personally, sorry, one thing is being frustrated and everything, but and I have adjusted my expectation this season. I know we're still just 4 points off the top four for some bizarre reason, but I've adjusted my expectations. But at some point, the fate has to kind of get a little crack in the armor somewhere. It has to shaken our belief in the team, the manager, the players, or whatever it is. And I'll start with you on top there, Toby. Is your faith and belief in Slot or the players still there? Did it only take 1.5 years for Klopp's legacy, doubters to believers, to be kind of shattered to its core, or do you still believe?
Yeah, so I'm slowly but surely. Well, I won't even say slowly. I think it's become a rapid decline and losing face. Just the way that we've lost these games has been very bad. I think we've lost 9 out of the last 12 games. I think the last time we won, or we were all really, really happy, was when we beat Real Madrid. Um, Looking back the last 3 games, if I'm correct, it's Man City, Forest, and PSV. All 3 of those games we did not play well in. Oh, PSV, we played well to an extent, and then you can even make the argument that there, to a point, we could have drew even with PSV, but we ended up losing control of that game. And just one thing I've noticed about Liverpool under Arne Slot, and I'm not sure if anybody else in the chat or on the stream has noticed this, but when Liverpool loses control, they lose control of a game. If you don't believe me, just look at how Arne Slot just manages those situations. He takes off a defensive player like Konate, throws in every single, what feels like almost every single forward we have in that situation, and tries to score a goal. I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that strategy has worked once since he's joined Liverpool. Not once, and it's just frustrating to see him throw the same strategy, do the same thing over and over again to no results. But
I don't think that is a strategy. I kind of think that is, I don't know what to do, so I'll just try something,
yeah, it just
and
kind of,
that's even worse.
yeah, it's kind of like throwing shit on a wall and calling it something. That's the phrase I like to see use. Throw shit on the wall and call it something. But I'm just not encouraged. Like, just this team lacks intensity. It looks like the players don't know what they're doing. And it just seems like whenever we go down 1-0 or 2-1, it just, you see a lot of negative energy, a lot of heads dropping, a lot of players putting their hands on their heads, stuff like that. And I just don't like the attitude. I don't like the energy. And I just don't like the way the team responds whenever we go down 2-1.
I kind of agree, and I mean, we might actually lose, and that I feel is like a kind of a common feeling around a lot of fans today. And 6 months ago, when we started this season, we kind of won the last in the late stages of the game, and everybody will, hey, we win on shit today, and everybody was happy. Uh, Connor, how about you? Do you, because one thing is that one thing is losing. Everybody does that and have a slump here or there. But like Toby said, it's the way we lose control of the game or the midfield or whatever you would like to call it. Do you still have faith in how in that this will turn around, and probably how?
You know, like, I do think it will turn around. My problem is that we're a team that needs to play Champions League football, and for us to turn it around and have a good last 10, 15 games of the season isn't going to be a success for us this season. And not just that, the impact it has on us next season is going to be huge. So for me, he's like not a slot out person yet, but I do think that he needs to be made aware that him winning the league last season and then this season going, you know what, I'm going to make a ballsy move and make these signings and make all the changes. You need to kind of accountable for it falling apart. And if it means him being sacked, then fair enough. But I do see it turning around at some point. I'm just worried about it being too where it impacts us long term.
Okay, so you're kind of thinking about next year that we will turn around, but
I'm already
top four is out.
Yeah, I believe that it. Not that, like, even if we was to turn it around in the next couple of games, we have to then hope that other teams above us then also drop off and drop those points. And I think that now, even though, like you say, we're 4 points off top four, I think when competing against those teams that are also going for top four, in previous years, you would think, like, I got the 3 points there, so we'll make it up and you know, they'll drop points. But I don't see excelling to the point where we perform better than Chelsea, or even Sunderland today, you've seen coming back and winning. So, like, even these teams that have just come up, they're still going to be really, if we was to try and turn these results around. And I think the biggest reality, to be honest, like, I think if you watched, or obviously we all watched the game against PSV, and it was highlighted in the replay of the goal where the ball gets cut back and Gravenberg turns around and he just waves his hands up before the player's even taken the shot. Like, he's literally turned around and gone, oh, for fuck's sake. And he's given up before the player's even taken the shot. And I think that's kind of, that's a snapshot of his game. I'm not going to say that's how he's played for 9 minutes, but I think that's the difference. This team now and Jurgen's team, I think that team, no matter what, stay sharp and they would fight till the last second to block every shot. And I think our heads are going down after 5 minutes of conceding the first goal. And obviously that's what's resulting in these complete losses. You know, we concede the first goal and the game, feel it as a fan. When I saw us concede the first goal, and then when we got one back, it felt like PSV still had the momentum, even though we'd just scored. I was like, how is that? You know? And even though when we put boys forward and we create chances, I don't actually feel like we're going to score 3-4. Even when you look that we've had like 17 shots in a game. You know, like, I don't have that confidence in the front at the moment.
I read somewhere that expected goals for us the last 3 games was 6.5 something or other, and the expected goals against was 5 point something or other, but we had scored 1 and conceded 10. So of course that does something with your mentality, because you always feel that you concede. You can play a perfect game and then you have one lucky bounce or one mistake or one throw in or whatever, and then you let in a goal and you're on the back foot. But back to you now, Jackson. The same question as the other guys. Do you still have the faith in this? And as I said, how? I mean, one thing is if you're losing. We had a season where we had, I think, we had, more hits in the goal post than any other team that season. We had, post out instead of post in. But we don't have that now. We have expected goals and we have numbers that say we should have had more. And we don't play as bad as some of the results say. But like Connor points out, we kind of fall apart when we concede, and we usually do it first. And how do you see us turn this around? And do you still believe we can turn it around?
Well, in terms of our chance at winning the league, that we won't turn that around. But I still think Liverpool can finish in the top 4 this season. Of course, this is the same group of players plus a few more who they won the Premier League 7 months ago or whatever. So I think they do have it in their arsenal to string together enough results. And like as we touched upon, it's still somehow very close to the top 4. I said on this podcast last week ahead of the Nottingham Forest game, we're at the beginning of a crucial run of fixtures for Liverpool where the teams aren't the hardest to face until we play Arsenal on January the 8th. Now, I was anticipating much better results from the Nottingham Forest game and PSV Eindhoven. And as we've said earlier on this show, the way that Liverpool have just folded after having their nose bloodied by the opposition is a real red flag. There's no getting away from that. But I'm definitely not an Arne Slot out person at the moment, but I want to see how many points we get between now and that game at the Emirates Stadium on January the 8th. I think we should be looking to be getting back into the top 4 at that point. And, well, realistically, Arsenal looking quite unstoppable and Liverpool have been very inconsistent this season. So we'll probably lose that game at Arsenal, even though we did beat them earlier this season. But, I think this season kind of reminds me of the season when, after we first won the Premier League, we did enter some very sticky form. And it's been spoken about on this podcast, the mentality that the team had under Jurgen Klopp. We did go through some bad patches where the mentality was lacking in certain games, and the mentality is certainly lacking in the Liverpool squad at the moment. I think in that season when we were defending quite poorly our title, we lost 6 home games in a row. And I do remember during that run thinking during those games, we're not going to find a way back into this game. And then luckily towards the end of the season, we managed to string together a few results. And I think Jurgen Klopp put it, we managed to sneak into the top 4 through the back window. And I think this group of players is capable of doing that. But right now, we're not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel. And I mean, I can't have Liverpool losing to West Ham tomorrow because I've got loads of family members who support West Ham. So I will get absolutely cooked in the family group chat if we lose tomorrow.
Well, if anyone from Liverpool are listening, you do it for Jackson. So that's easy enough. But, I mean, my issue is that we kind of... I think you have to start with the basic, and you have to start by keeping a clean sheet. Like Connor said, it's mentality thing. If you kind of and mentality is based on belief and results or progress. When you kind of standing in the same spot, not getting anywhere, it's frustrating. But if you take small steps, and it starts with the defense. If you start by not conceding chances, and then not conceding a lot of goals, and then you kind of start getting more chances, and then small things that builds confidence, that again turns over and make you believe in yourself. And I think we will come on to that a little later on. But Toby, I didn't think you kind of got the question to that. I kind of disagree with Connor that I think we can survive 1 year out of Champions League. I don't think that's crucial in that sense. I don't want it, but I don't think it's crucial. But what are your thoughts about that, Toby? Do you think we still can make that? Do you think we... I mean, it is close. Do you think that is crucial for us, or do you just wanted us to be better and take it from there.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to answer that question when we're not winning games right now. Like, I, I wish I could think that far ahead, but right now I just want to win a game, and I want to win it in a convincing fashion, or just in good form, to put it that way. Look, I do agree with the rest of members in the stream. I don't think we're going to win the Premier League this year. And if we keep playing in current form, I don't see how we make the top 4, let alone top 5. But I just want to win a freaking game, man. I don't even want to talk about trophies. I don't even want to talk about Champions League right now. I just want to win a game. I want to get out of this bad juju we're in, this bad energy, because it's affecting players, it's affecting teams, it's affecting the fan base even. We have like 90% of the fan base shout and slot out, or 95% of them, and then got the small majority that are holding on for dear life. A win tomorrow would go a long way, and hopefully build some confidence, and hopefully a win in a convincing manner would definitely go in a long way.
I can't see us win any game now in a confident way. I'm sorry. That's so many steps ahead. I mean, I would take a dirty win any day now. Because if you get a dirty win and you get another dirty win, then you get the confidence to believe you can win, and then you can get that good performance. So if we win on a fluke or whatever it is, I don't care. We need to start somewhere, and then I think the progression will come when we can do it on a regular basis. I think we're going to change topic today. Now, well, it's the same shit anyway. But I have called we have, in my opinion, something that's called the Three Stooges in our team now, and that is Konate, Virgil and Salah, and Salah. I'm not saying they are the main issue of, well, Konate is, but I'm not saying they are the only problem we have. But they are the senior players. They are the one everybody else should look to. I mean, Salah is the captain for Egypt, Virgil is captain for Netherlands, and us. And Konate is, he is nothing. But my point is, the seniors players have also failed. One thing is that the new guys we've gotten in, first of all, we have to remind ourselves that the 6 new guys came in. They came into a funeral. It's not easy to fit into a funeral. I mean, that doesn't just work. So that doesn't help. But I kind of, and that's why I call them the Three Stooges, because they are the guys that should, to look at Henderson or Gerrard or Carragher or any of these guys, even if they, like Carragher, lacked the skill, had the mentality and guts to throw in front of the block or do certain things. And I feel that the senior players are letting the team down more than the new guys, and maybe more than Slot. Jackson, what are your thoughts about that? Do you think they should have done more? Do you think they do what they can do? We just don't see it, or what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I mean, so Virgil van Dijk, I think he's my favourite Liverpool player of all time, so I might be a little bit biased, but I think
next.
I think the idea of perhaps dropping Virgil van Dijk is just not an option. Yes, on Wednesday night, I don't know what he was doing when he gave away the penalty against PSV Eindhoven. That was just stupid from him, frankly. But I was very intrigued by some comments that Jamie Carragher made on CBS Sports after the PSV game. He said Virgil van Dijk is no longer superhuman. He's a good defender. He's been doing a lot of heavy lifting for that Liverpool defence over many years, but now the time has come for him to receive some help. So I think we just kind of have to accept Van Dijk is a long way past his best, but he can still be a good option or a good servant for Liverpool. But I don't think the idea of dropping him is an option at all, because I do still remember how we were just before he signed for us, and we were still conceding some really stupid goals. So Van Dijk, I'm still playing, even if he is out of form this season. Mohamed Salah is an interesting one. Again, I'm going to hark back to Jamie Carragher. He's been saying the last couple of days, I want to see Salah front up to the media after some bad performances. Salah doesn't talk to the media often. He made a beeline for the media this time last year when he was saying he was more out than in with regards to his contract situation just days before we hosted Real Madrid at Anfield, which was quite cheeky. I accept there's a game that players and agents have to play with the clubs when a contract is being drawn up, but I thought that was a bit unnecessary from Salah because it took all the attention away from build up to one of our biggest games of the season. But I don't think Arne Slot has much choice at the moment with the limited options he has. I think it'd be a bit of a risk playing Florian Wirtz tomorrow against West Ham, even though Slot did say that he'll be training with the team on Saturday. So I think AFCON may come at a good time because Jeremy Frimpong, he'll be recovering, and although he is primarily a right back, there is an option to play him in that role that Salah will leave vacant during AFCON. So it's an opportunity for Jeremy Frimpong to stake his claim, and it might be good for Salah as well, just to get away from the environment of Liverpool, because for whatever reason he's not performing very well at the moment. So I think, yeah, AFCON will come at a good time. And well, Konate, I've said it a few times on this podcast, he has to be taken out of the team. But again, tomorrow, I don't know what you do exactly. Maybe play Ryan Gravenberch at centre back alongside Van Dijk. Maybe play Andy Robertson at centre back. But you've got to take Milos Kerkez out of the team at left back and put Robertson at left back. So maybe you play Konate tomorrow. I mean, West Ham, they don't carry the biggest attacking threat, so hopefully he should get through this game unscathed and without making a horrible error like he did on Wednesday night and in many other games after that.
I just gotta ask the question differently. We'll talk also about that. We don't have a lot of options because we have a lot of injuries and everything like that. But what I'm kind of thinking about is, like you said, Salah hasn't been in the media. My point is, I agree with you that Van Dijk can't carry the team on his own when everybody else is falling, because it is a team sport. It isn't, 100-meter dash or something. It is team sport, so you need people around you. But my point is, do they, the senior, the players that people look up to, do they do enough to turn this around? Like you said, Salah hasn't been in the media. Do you think they're doing the grown-up part on the training field? I mean, we see Salah they don't look to him when things are tough, because he doesn't press back, he doesn't dribble, he doesn't do anything at the moment. So if the guys you look up to are slacking off, I mean, that's going to affect everybody else.
Yeah, I think Van Dijk is doing enough. He's the one who's always fronting up to the media when we lose. And I mean, in some of his post-match interviews, he's been talking about trying to convince the younger players in the Liverpool team not to listen to any outside noise. So I think Van Dijk is doing everything he can, but his resources are just a bit limited at the moment because perhaps he's not being supported by other senior members of the team. I mean, whenever there's been talk about making Salah a captain or a vice captain, I've always been quite hesitant about doing that. Fantastic player, but he is selfish, and I don't mean that in an unkind way. That's why he scored so many goals for Liverpool, and I'm very grateful for it. But in terms of leadership qualities, I'm not sure Salah has ever been that guy for Liverpool.
I think when it comes to Egypt, I just think he's captain because he's the biggest star, and has nothing to do with qualities at all. Connor, what about you? What are your thoughts about the Three Stooges? I mean, one thing is we don't have the options, so we can't throw everybody out. And like Jackson says, and I do agree with that. I think Virgil is doing what he can. But do you think you get any help from the others, or the senior players, or the experienced one that should lead by example? Do you think that is happening in the team or in the training ground?
I think to start with Verge, I'll just echo what's been already said, is the fact that he's not superhuman anymore. And I think when it comes to negotiating contracts as well, I think a lot of players and a lot of agents use statistics as a leverage. And I think with Verge specifically, it's been made very abundant throughout his career that he's someone that is very hard to get past. And if you look at a lot of the goals that have been conceded or chances created, he doesn't really like to commit into a tackle. He tends to give 2 yards and then bide his time and maybe, usher a player out of that creation area. But I don't see him making those tackles anymore. And I think a part of that is potentially injury. And I think another part of that is obviously trying to protect that legacy of that person that you cannot get past. You've seen it. I've seen it a couple of times this season where he has committed and someone has got past him and outpaced him, and that's showing that vulnerable side. So I think he's trying to protect that as well, and that image that you cannot get past me. Obviously, the people next to him as well. Kirkus is on and off. Konate, we'll mention him now. It's now out that Real Madrid have made it very clear that they don't want to sign him. I'd like to just see if that makes a difference. For me, that shouldn't make a difference. You're playing for Liverpool. You got the shot on for Liverpool. Whether you're going to sign on Monday morning, on Saturday or Sunday, you put in 100%. And for me, he's always looked like a bit like Bambi on ice. He's shown it a couple of times where he just like that one where he just swiped at the board. It's directly gone to a goal. I think it's just lackadaisical. The focus isn't there, and and we know he's capable because there's been that partnership between him and Van Dijk where they've come out of some worldy performances, and constant direction that where we start the passing from the back and he's played them into the middle. So he's able to do it, and he's not one of those players where his legs are going. Like, he's actually in his prime now. So he should actually be the main man at the back, with the support of Verge. Still, you've got the 30-odd-year-old man that's having to do most of it. And with Salah, I think genuinely, like you've mentioned, like he is a selfish player, and it served him well in the past. But now he needs to make sure that he's playing with everyone else and play a style which is consistent. The two best games we've seen this season and against Real Madrid. And if you've noticed, all the balls that went to him in those 2 games, he was able to hold off the defender, bring the ball down, and then bring others. In the games where he either disappears or does nothing are the ones where all he wants to do is run that way. All he wants to do is the ball over the top and run that way. As soon as he gets the ball, run that way. Do the same thing. And to be honest, against PSV, 99% of the time, he just lost it. One-on-one with the left back, he just lost it. And I just think that, like you say, AFCON coming is a beautiful time and an opportunity for us to give a chance to someone else, because I genuinely think that there is a huge bias with certain players in the team and Slot, because when you look at last season and you look at Harvey and you look at Nunez, where statistics on the pitch suggested that they didn't deserve to be in the, so he's pulled them out and he really limited their chances. Now this year, of shots on target or converting from chances to goals for Salah, Gakpo have been horrendous, worse than Nunez in last season, and yet they're still in the starting lineup every single game.
I just gotta say, if I now see a change in Konate, if he suddenly gets his head to in the game because he has to get the new contract and whatever, or blah 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 blah. If that change comes, like kind of a light switch, I'm going to be even more pissed than, because then he's been kind of slagging off on purpose because I don't care because I'm not going to be here. That's kind of going to piss me off even more. And the other thing that's kind of annoying, because we have limited chances to change a lot of things because of the injuries, because of in and out of form and everything like that. But what bugs me when it comes to Slot is he's said it. He's going to play Salah no matter what. And how does that feel when you're either Elliot or Chiesa or whoever?
Chiesa.
It's like it doesn't matter what you do on the training ground. It doesn't matter how well you do. I'm going to bench you anyway. He said we don't have a right back, but Ramsey was sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? And I mean, you can't do that. You can't take away players' will to do better in training because it doesn't have an effect. Then you're kind of undermining everything you're kind of doing in the work week. So, I mean, if Konate now suddenly plays like he should play, it's going to piss me off. I'm going to be happy because you get the points probably, but it's going to piss me off because I don't want him anyway, because then it doesn't bother. And then he's not fit to wear the Liverpool shirt. But I know Slot can't replace, can't take out Konate, he can't put out Virgil. I mean, we have too many players injured out of form. But Salah, and I would like to see Konate benched. I would see him on, I don't care if Endo plays or, I don't know, Isaac. I mean, I don't care. Anyone. Toby, your thoughts about this? Do you think we do have any options on the bench that he should try? Do you think he doesn't want to try because he doesn't trust anyone over the bench? Or do you think that the Three Stooges are doing what they can when it comes to helping the team outside of the pitch? Like our fellows here had said, that Virgil does what he can. Salah is nowhere, and Konate is, catwalking when it goes to the French international games.
Yeah, so I think it's just a combination of just not having the depth and just just not having the depth. It was interesting because Slot made a comment today or yesterday saying that that we can't change formation because we don't have the players to do that. So that tells you a lot about where we currently sit on as a team. I'm like the rest of the people in this live stream. I don't think Konate deserves to start. And I think Connor said it well. It doesn't matter if he was going to go to Real Madrid or if he was going to stay. Like his performances have been unacceptable. And like I've reached my point where I don't care what you do. Put on Joe Gomez, play with a back three. I don't care. Get him off the pitch because like his performances have been just flat out unacceptable, and some of the mistakes he's made have been flat out unacceptable. They've been very costly this year, but maybe I'm just ripping into him a little too much, but that's what I'm seeing.
Nope, not
Salah.
too much.
No, that's where my frustration lies because like I was really big on trying to bring in another center back this year because well, yeah, just because I was worried after the Bournemouth game that counterattacks and just our defense didn't look good in that game either. It looked real shaky. Though I don't think Gahey or Schlotterbeck will change much. It would just be nice to have that depth, but we're starting to see that now because just Slot's unwillingness to play Joe Gomez. Probably because one, he can't trust him to stay healthy. We all know that Gomez is injury prone, and two, he probably just doesn't trust him to be out there. Yeah, if Gomez goes down, like you don't have any other center backs. You probably run out Endo or Gravenberg, but I don't think Slot would want to do that. I'm not very keen on doing that either, but whatever. Van Dijk, he's getting older. He's not getting unfortunately, he's not getting any younger, and as we all know in sports in general, a lot of times undefeated. It's the worst thing to see great players just get old because they slow down or that they're just not as good. And once again, I wonder how much the effect, like how much does the passing of Diogo Jota plays into all this as well. I mean, think about when that happened. Like it was when it happened was July 5th, and then a couple weeks later was the first preseason game against Preston North End. Yeah, I believe so. That's a very short period of time to just turn around and start playing football again. Like it's a hard ask. Just take it from me personally. The grief is not something that you just have and then it just goes away. No, it takes time. Sometimes it takes years, 2 years, maybe even longer to just move past that. So I do, that does sit in the back of my mind if that plays a part. But other than that, it just been, I don't really know what else is going on.
Everybody handles grief differently. And one thing usually many people do is they handle that grief by working too much or diverse themselves in a hobby or work or whatever. These guys can't do that because at work, that's where the pain is. So I mean, if something happened to my family, I could hide away at work, but they can't hide away at work because that's where the memories and the pain are. So, of course, this is a factor. But I gotta ask, go down to you, Jackson. I mean, we have limited options. We have a lot, as I've said many times now, we have limited options for various reasons. And we have had Klopp going out public saying, I'm going to start him no matter what. I don't have any right back because, well, we do. And I can't play with a 5 back because I don't have 5 defenders. And that's true, the last one. But do you think that kind of also, one thing is that it demotes the players who are trying to get into the team. They get frustrated, like Chiesa trying to get into the team, and he sees the performance of Salah, rubbish, and he tries his best, but he's never going to be picked. And then you have maybe like Konate, who's halfway out the door, and he knows he's not challenged on the training ground because the players who would normally compete for his position are injured. So he knows he's going to play anyway. So it doesn't matter what he does. You think this is because I think that's a big. Usually, when you, like Connor said, if you have the squad depth, if you have competition on positions in the team, they sharp up. They push it forward. But when you don't have anyone who threatens your position or role, you kind of doesn't really matter. I'm going to play anyway.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Harold. I think back to the first Premier League game of last season. It was Jarell Quansah and Virgil van Dijk at centre back. Jarell Quansah was very shaky at Ipswich in the first half, so Arne Slot took him out, brought Konate on, and Konate never looked back. I was actually thinking during the week, it's a real pity that we let Jarell Quansah go because he would have been ideal just to replace the god-awful Konate at the moment, but well, we didn't sign him, and unfortunately the Mark Gay deal didn't get over the line. So yes, I think that is also having an effect. You look at Arsenal, who are the best team in the Premier League at the moment. They have an embarrassment of riches in defence. They have had an injury to Gabriel, but they brought in Christian Mosquera to their last few starting 11s, and he's settled in very, very well. So yes, I absolutely agree with that point that Liverpool's lack of squad depth is costing the team. And yet, with Arne Slot's comments about, I'll play Mohamed Salah no matter what, that was perhaps not the best thing to say. Man management, it might not be Arne Slot's strongest point compared to Jurgen Klopp. I think he had an ability to make average players play like world beaters at times, but perhaps that wasn't the smartest thing to say publicly. You can think it all you want. You're the manager. You're the one who picks the team. That's what you're paid to do. But I think in the case of like taking Salah out of the team. Playing someone like Chiesa, I'm not sure it's Slot not trusting Chiesa's playing ability. I think it's a similar case to Gomez. He just doesn't trust his body because Chiesa has had a couple of big injuries in his career. So I think Arne Slot would like to play Chiesa more, but I think he recognises how Chiesa's body works and the big injuries he's had. I think Chiesa's role in this Liverpool team will be like Divock Origi. I think he's an impact sub, and that's as good as it's going to get for him. It has worked very well, like when he got the last minute winner against Bournemouth, but starting Chiesa regularly, I'm not so sure about, even if Salah is in one of the worst patches of form in his career.
But it is kind of undermining. I mean, there has been talk about on the stream, our stream and somewhere else, that there have been some people saying he's losing the dressing room. And the way you lose the dressing room is that you say, well, you're never going to play. And those guys who get that message see that those who are taking their position don't perform. They don't give. I mean, that's the United problem all over again. I mean, they've had that for many years. I mean, they've had players who haven't been threatened or challenged or anything and do what they want. I mean, what are they now? Fourth or fifth manager doing the same thing? So you can't do that as a manager. You have to show who's boss and make the hard choices. I mean, like you said, Jackson, he did that in the first game. He hasn't done it since. That's not good enough. When it comes to this one, I hope we lose tomorrow. I'm tired of the ball fraud. I'm sorry. Hope we lose, so someone loses their job or something. That's United. That's not us.
And who would we get in anyway?
Yeah, and that is another point. I want thank you for reminding me. If Alonso was to get canned from Real Madrid, that would maybe put some pressure on Slot if things are still shaky. But without that, I think he's safe at least till New Year's. We can't change just to change. And if the mentality of the players is shaky because they don't want to or can or whatever, well, that's not going to change with a new manager. Connor, what are your thoughts about it? Do you think Slot done himself a disfavor by saying the things he said, or is it that does he have the solution kind of in his head? He wants to try this to fix it, and he thinks this will help, but he can't do it just because we don't have the options.
For starters, I think he's an idiot for saying certain things in the public because one that's not even just football, like in any kind of business line where even if you have a bias, you know, in any area, any corporation, any, you know, area, or you can never show a bias, because if Salah was to turn around and say at the end of the season, I want to leave, and he pushes through for a move anywhere, you're still going to be stuck with those players that you said never going to get to play. Like,
exactly.
That's me thinking long term.
And they will undermine
That's
that.
mad,
There will be an unrest you can't get rid of because you can't get them out of the team. And as I said, we look at United. That's been happening for 10 years. And I mean, if I went to work and me and my colleague did the same job, and there was a position opening, and my boss would come to me and say, well, you're not going to get it. I mean, you can work 20 hours overtime every day, but I'm not going to give it to you. How do you think my input's going to be for the rest of that career? Exactly. It's not going to happen.
It's demotivating, isn't it? So for me, straight away, if like you can probably gamble that when you're on the verge of winning the Premier League, but when you're in the mud and you need your players to come through for you and work 120% to get you out of there, because realistically, none of those players' jobs are on the line. They've got contracts. It's him. It's him that his job on the line. He'll go, and it's for every team. The manager will go way before any player will go. So, for first thing, like that's just being naive. That's stupid. The second thing for me is that we do have options because he's specifically made certain signings, and to be fair, to an extent, Klopp previously made certain signings so that players can be diverse and play in multiple positions. When we watched Ramsey play at right back, he's only played one game for us at right back. And I didn't think that straight away. I thought he's not really going to get options there at right back, but not the right back that Slot likes. He's long. He's not. Was this Conor Bradley? Someone that can get up and down and make things happen attackably. So for me, put him at centre half. I think he would still do a better job than Konate there. If you feel like he's not doing anything up the pitch, but for me, he looked sound defensively, that's your option at centre half if you don't want to play him at right back. And I do believe that Chiesa, if Slot's going to stick to his word and say the reason why he's integrated him slowly and looked after him so well at the start of the season is for longevity, I do believe he can have a lot more minutes than what he's currently doing, because he has been, when he's playing, promising players. And even if in your head, like I said, don't say this out loud in the press, you have no intention of him being a starter, make it look like that at least, so that and does something. At least make it look like you've lost your legs, you're not doing well. I'm going to put Chiesa there as a starter until you elevate your levels. At least if you impression, then at least then you're going to get a bit more from other players. But if you're straight up saying like you're not, you are, if you come on 20 minutes and score a late minute winner or you assist, I'm still going to stick Salah on. That's mad. Because, and I know we keep on talking Chiesa, but like he's out this season per minutes, and you might say it's because of those moments that we've put him in there. He's one of the best in the team. So why not give him 90 minutes? What's the reason? Other than the fact that, money talks and you've put Salah on the pitch, then maybe you got extra few viewers from Egypt or other countries. And unfortunately, if money's in football, then that's the way it's going to
go. And Klopp called when his press conference when he came. He said, "I have to make doubters into believers," and that is also what you have to impose on the players. If you don't make them believe in what you're doing, in what you want to achieve, or how you want to play, if they don't believe it, or they don't believe they have a chance, or believe that it will be obtainable, well, you're dead in the water. You can't go anywhere. So, it's like shooting yourself in the foot with a shotgun. It's like you're not going to run any faster. Toby, do you think we have options? Do you think it's lack of options? Do you think it's lack of wanting to try something new, or do you think he just has decided, like we've touched upon, that I don't trust you, or I don't think you're good enough, or is it something else? And before I give you the answer, I'll let you answer. If Slot is worried about longevity, I'm afraid he's going to get injured. Well, he's going to get injured in the training ground as well. There is no guarantee, and if you don't play a player, it doesn't help to have a player on the bench if you never use him because you're afraid he's going to get injured. You don't have a player. You just have a physical body there. It's not a player because you don't dare to try him. So, Toby, up to you.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of like the sense of stubbornness from Slot that he wants to go with the tried and true method without trying something new. And in certain cases, yes, I understand. Like I mentioned earlier, Joe Gomez. I'd rather him be starting center back over Konate, but we all know his injury history. I would love to see Chiesa get some minutes or start one of these games at least. I think he's shown that he's deserving of it. He's been, in my opinion, one of our better players. Every time he goes out there, he plays with energy. He looks like one of the few players that hasn't given up when we're down 3-1, 4-1, whatever. That's what you want in a player. Someone who's just going to keep playing with that drive and intensity. And I do believe we missed a little bit of that when we let go of Darwin Nunez and Elliott. Not saying that those guys were starters, but like you could just plug them in during the game and they just inject the team with energy. And that is just as important as just having great players. But also, like, I just wonder, there's just not a whole lot of options either. Like, a lot of players that he trusts on the bench. We do have Calvin Ramsey, but I don't know, maybe it's because of his lack of experience that Slot doesn't want to play him. I think maybe he just trusts certain players over others. And, yeah.
Yeah. But beggars can't be choosers, so he has to abandon some belief sooner or later if he's going to turn this ship around. And the first chance to turn things around is tomorrow. And that brings us on to the final topic today, Jackson, and that is, what is your predicted lineup? Who would you like to see? I mean, my kind of predicted lineup was 3 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 2 in midfield, and 1 attacker. But I can't do that. So, Jackson, what is your what do you want to see tomorrow?
I mean, as we've said quite a few times on this stream, options are a bit limited, but in goal, I'm going for Alisson. I think it was just an illness which kept him out of the PSV game, so hopefully he'll have recovered by that. And I think that will boost the defence as well, having Alisson behind them. Mamardashvili, I don't think he's done much wrong in a Liverpool shirt. It's just been the goals he has conceded, he hasn't been able to do anything about. But from a defender's standpoint, I didn't play at the same level as these guys, but I played as a centre-back at grassroots level. And when I had a good goalkeeper behind me, that gave me a real boost. And it made me feel better about myself. I thought, okay, well, if I miss a header, then I've got a great goalkeeper behind me. So, Alisson, I think, has to start. Back 4, unfortunately, I'm playing Ibrahima Konate because Arne Slot did say that Joe Gomez isn't quite fit enough yet to be starting. If he was considered fit enough, I'm playing Joe Gomez and Van Dijk, which is, obvious. Left back, going for Andy Robertson. Milos Kerkez, I thought there were patches in the PSV game where he looked good going forward, but again, more question marks about his defending. I just want someone reliable, and Andy Robertson is that guy. At right back, again, limited options, so probably going to have to play Curtis Jones. You could play Dominic Szoboszlai there, but I think we need to have Szoboszlai in that midfield.
We can't play Dom there. We can't play Dom there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good idea against Arsenal, but you can't keep playing him there. He's been our best player this season. Yeah, you're totally right. Szoboszlai I've already mentioned in the midfield. Then I'm going to have Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister. One thing I like to say about Ryan Gravenberch, I think this season, even in the games we've been winning, he's been doing too much. Last season, he was a great defensive midfielder. He was playing like Fabinho, the way he was just snuffing out the danger of the counter-attack from the opposition. But I think he's been getting a few goals, but that's been to the detriment of the team. Even the games we've been winning, we've been overrun in midfield far too many times. I think Gravenberch either he's deciding to get forward more or he's been told to do too much. Either way, he's just got to change to what he was doing last season. And as for the front 3, well, Ekitike is injured, so going to have to play Alexander Isak. I mean, I'm not particularly fond of how well Alexander Isak has played so far, but equally, you've got to give him some minutes, and he's the only option we've got in that centre-forward role, so he's playing. And on either side of him, I'm having Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo, because Florian Wirtz is probably not quite going to be ready. I think it would be it wouldn't be a very wise decision to risk him for this game, especially when we are in a period of the season where the games come thick and fast. So Salah, Isak, and Gakpo.
If he plays Wirtz, and then at the same time says, I won't risk Gomez. And you can just shut the I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah. Connor, what is your wanted or predicted 11 for tomorrow?
Predicted, obviously, I think it just speaks for itself because of what he said anyway. So I won't. What I will say is the starting lineup that I would like to see, and it's something that like we haven't even done this season. And for me, against the West Ham side, I know we're against West Ham. I think it's worth us to try something else. And for me, Alisson in goal, obviously, I would put Verge and Konate at the back. Not that I want to have there, but I would. Robbo on the left, and I would put Ramsey on the right. And I'll play a 4-5-1, because then what that does, it connects the midfield a bit more, so that the wingers don't have to get up as much as they need, as much as previous games. And then I would play Grav, Sob, McAllister in three in the middle. On the right hand side, Chiesa. I wouldn't start Salah, and I would put Jones on the left. And then, unfortunately, like you say, Isak up top. Let him just get his deck chair out and park it on the centre back, and then let everyone else do what they need to do, because that's all he's going to do anyway. I was hoping that he's going to be able to come back in. I'm not sure if he's going to, he might end up still getting into the squad. I don't know. I haven't seen anything confirmed about that yet. But for me, I think the 4-5-1 would allow us to stretch play without having to do as much legwork. And then in transition, we've got a bit more protection. Yes, some people will say, well, in a 4-5-1 means you're just leaving that donkey up the top and we're not going to be able to do anything there. But I think with the quality in between the lines, a 4-5-1 with that formation should do still some damage.
And I think, as I said earlier, I think defensive security is priority number one. You have to stop from conceding goals, and then you can deal with the scoring goals later. And we have the numbers that says we create a lot of things, so that's usually not the issue. We have to, stop conceding, and then the goals will come forward. So I kind of agree with you on that one. I'm going to give it to you, Toby. What is your lineup for tomorrow?
Yeah, so my predicted lineup is literally the exact same as Jackson's. I think Jones will get this. Well, goalkeeper first, Allison. I just think since he's healthy now, he's going to get the start. Jones will be right back. I know Szoboszlai can play there right now. And we do have Ramsey, but I don't see Ramsey starting, and Szoboszlai needs to be playing at the midfield. I was surprised against Forest that we put Szoboszlai at right back instead of Jones. It was just quite shocking to me. For the center backs, I have Konate and Van Dijk. Even though I've said before throughout this entire stream, Konate does not deserve a starting spot. I just do not see Slot benching him for Gomez, just considering injury history and et cetera. Left back, I have Robertson. I know Kirk has played well against PSV, but I still believe that the left back position is his to lose. Robertson's to lose. Midfield, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, obviously. And then with the front three, I have Salah. I don't see Slot benching Salah. Because Salah, he's a star player, and I know he's not been up to par this season, but we know what he can do when he gets going, and he could be like the most dangerous player on the pitch. And yeah, you just can't bench Salah, unfortunately.
Yes, you can.
You can, but I don't see Slot doing that. I have Gakpo at the left wing. I don't know if Wirtz is going to be healthy for this game. Even then, I'll be a little bit shocked to see him start. And up top, I have Isak. I don't want to start Isak over Ekitike. I think Ekitike does more on the ball than Isak. After the loss against Forest, I came on this live stream and said Isak, when he's out there, he doesn't do anything. He's like a brick wall. I don't see him getting the ball, or us giving him the ball. But look, Ekatike is out, or I don't see him starting this game, even though he has like a minor injury. I just don't see him starting, and if he does make the squad, I only see him playing a handful of minutes. So I think we're going to have to go with Isak on this one.
When I hear you guys say Salah on one side and Isak in the middle, the only thing I hear is our stat man Steven, and he says you can never play those two together. So I got that in my head. I'm not going to give you guys the predicted lineup. I'm going to give you the lineup I want, and I would like to, like Connor kind of said, 4-5-1. I would take the formation we do have without the running forward with the right and left backs, because that's when we open us up to counters and everything, especially on the right side when Salah isn't helping and Jones or whoever are caught mid somewhere, and the only thing between our goal is Konate. So that's I think a lot of it would help if, well, Robbo is one thing because Robbo is Robbo, but as long as we have issues at right back and Salah not pressing, I think a tactical good thing would be if right back doesn't move anywhere. A more traditional right back stays put, defend, and whatever. But my wanted lineup tomorrow is like you guys kind of said. It's like Ali in goal, right back is Jones. I think I would rather see Gomez tomorrow bottle everything, but he has gotten a chance. I mean, I would rather see him play with Van Dijk because, I mean, he's never been the best defender in the world, even when he was healthy. But I would rather see someone trying and not succeeding because he's out of form or whatever, than seeing a player who doesn't give a shit. I've seen that all season, and I'm tired of it. So I know it's not going to happen, but I want Gomez together with Van Dijk and, of course, Robbo on the left. Midfield is like you guys said, it's Gravenberch, Dominic, and McAllister. I mean, that midfield without Szoboszlai is absolutely dead. I mean, I think McAllister played his best match last game against PSV. I think he did a good figure there, but the energy and the press and everything, that's Dominic, all through and through. If we lose him or place him at right back, we have two team, both defense and then midfield weakened, and that's a big problem. Of course, since Isaac probably is going to play tomorrow, I would like to see Chiesa on the right. Like Steven, the statman, usually says, you can't have both because you have two brick walls who don't do shit. And then you're playing 11 to 9 and you can't do anything. So Chiesa on the right, Isak in the middle, and Gakpo on the left. That is my wanted 11 for tomorrow. When it comes to predicted scoreline, I think we're going to lose. I have not seen any game in the last 10 games, any progress, anything that's going to give me a hope. I hope we win. I hope I'm wrong, but I haven't seen anything that's going to, give me that hope. It's the heart that gives me the hope, not stats or numbers or anything. So I think we're going to lose. Jackson, what are your predicted scoreline for tomorrow?
I'm a little bit more optimistic than you. Despite everything that's gone on this season, I've still got it in my mind that we are still the champions. Like, you can't take that away from us. We are still the champions. So I'm going to go for, I think the phrase dirty win was said a little earlier on this stream. So I'm going to go for a dirty 2-1 win. Maybe Salah will get the winner. Who knows?
Okay, now you're just hallucinating. I don't know what you've been doing. But yeah. Connor, what about you? What is your predicted scoreline for tomorrow?
I'm gonna like just go with my head. Then I genuinely think it'll end up being like maybe a 1-1 draw. But for me personally, it all goes down to what I see starting that game. If certain players are on that pitch at the start of the game, it would actually give me more the belief that we're gonna win it. But gonna start. I don't think we're gonna get the 3 points, but I think if we play well, we won't.
Right. Toby, last man standing. What is your predicted score for tomorrow?
Yeah, so I'm not very optimistic. I think I've made that pretty clear in this game throughout the stream. I remind everybody that the manager for West Ham is Nuno. He was the manager of one of the only teams that beat us last year, Nottingham Forest. So that concerns me, and just how recent form, just how we've played lately. I'm not encouraged, and I know eventually we need to break that spell, but I haven't seen anything to prove that we're going to, and I'm going with a 2-0 loss to West Ham. Not pretty.
Yeah, and that's kind of the. I usually get optimistic when it's closer to game time, but I've kind of I've kind of lost it. I'm sorry, and I will be gladly on any stream next week say I was wrong. I will have no issue with that. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank my fellows here, Toby, Connor, and Jackson, for joining me today. If you're new to Anything Liverpool, please give us a like, subscription, and a follow so you can see all our other upcoming streams. I hope everybody has a good Saturday night and wish you all a good luck and 3 points tomorrow.